All right. Hey, we're live once more on another fantastic Friday. Feedback Friday, Real Estate Investing Made Easy. Now all three of us are here. Really excited to get into this. Of course, we're going to be taking your questions live as well. So feel free to go ahead and put any questions that you have in the live chat. We'll be monitoring that. And then we're going to be taking questions that we got over this last week from every one of you who are watching any of the videos and you had questions, comments, concern, positive feedback, otherwise not positive, other than positive feedback too. No holds bar, guys. We just want to be transparent with what we're doing so that together we can make real estate investing easy. So what's up, everybody?
Hey, what's going on?
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, man, it's been a week.
Coda Bear says, "What's up?
What's up, everybody?" Look at that little baby. I like the colors. Very bold choices in a cute outfit there with the turquoise and pink.
Hey, she's styling. This is my little bougie baby.
That's right. Is that like Gucci?
Guys, we already got a question. This is awesome. Loving it. Alfred.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, welcome.
That sounds like a Brad question right there.
I like that. What is the best software for on market? Well, from our experience, we have an answer that we've come to over the last year or so. So Brad, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, we would definitely, if you haven't already seen all of the channel content that we have around this specific software, it's Privy Real Estate Software. We have a ton of content around that, a ton of training videos and series. He's using Privy already, so you've got it. You've got the best software for the on-market. My next question, Alfred, would be, do you have our on-market offer system? And if you don't, I would highly encourage you that go check out our Privy training videos and see what that is, see how I use it and to get the most out of Privy, because Privy is great. There are a lot of different ways you can use it. And if you're just starting out, I would, Dallas-Fort Worth, perfect. Yeah, so I would highly encourage you to go check those videos out, see how you can extract the most value out of your Privy software and get deals.
Oh yeah, I'd interject there too, because it's the answer to the question, what is the best anything, doesn't mean that it's going to be the best thing for you. And let me qualify that, because it's all about how you use it. So you could have the best anything widget, the best car. Heck, you could drive a Ferrari, but if you don't know how to drive it, then it's not going to be the best for you. And I'm sure that Chris could probably expound on that as a car reference, because, you know, he's the car guy. And I'm an A to B person when it comes to that. But I'll say it's about how you use it, right? And Privy is fantastic. And we've looked at we used to have the on-market offer system. We'd go to our local MLS and we'd try to develop relationships with realtors for the end run and the end goal of actually getting access to the same data that Privy now provides, and then using it in an intelligible way to make decisions. So it's definitely how you use it. And if you have any questions about how you use it, Alfred, we're going to be talking a little bit about that too, because some questions that came in over the last week were specific to the on-market offer system, which you can use Zillow, you can use realtor.com, you can use some free services, but it is really something that pales in comparison to actually using Privy at a high level to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Like what's the end goal for the use, you know? And I would really still say, all that being said, Privy is the way to go.
Right.
No matter what,
Yep.
honestly, you know, so.
I agree. You know, and we train on other software platforms. I would say maybe not even software platforms, just free things like Zillow for those people who are like you, Alfred, just getting started, but they're in a position where the monthly for Privy is something that they're still working towards getting, right? The ability to pay for it. So we have lots of seasoned investors who we're speaking with and who are engaged on this channel, and everything from, I don't even know what real estate investing is. So all that said,
wide range.
yeah, we would still definitely say use Privy and continue to dive into the trainings here. And we know Benson personally. He's a great guy. He's the founder of Privy. And I mean, it wasn't that way, right? We found the software first and then we banged down the door, right? Because we were like, hey, we love this. Let's get together and let's talk and see how we can, one, promote your product to our audience because it actually works. And those are the only products that we would promote, things that actually work. And then two, like, let's come up with creative ways to use this software that maybe even you, the inventor of this software, don't know about. And I know that sounds like a really big claim, but actually Brad and me and him, and there are other influencers out there who have had those conversations with Benson before, but we've all collectively come to certain conclusions. And part of the way that we use Privy is a direct result of those conversations saying, how can we get the most out of this software? So
yeah. And specifically, to your point about coming up with ways that you can use software that even the owner and the builder didn't think of, right? One of the ways that we had come up with, Christian, what was it? We were talking about pulling lists and trying to scrub out sold properties, right, of old lists, right? Whereas and this is one thing, so for those of you who are using PropStream, right, you can do this in PropStream. You can import lists and then it'll scrub out properties that have recently sold, and then it'll spit it back out. So that way you can maximize the lists that you already have. The problem, which Christian was indicating with the little finger move, right, is it costs you money to do that. We talked to Benson and brought that idea up to him, and he was like, you know what, I never even actually thought about that, but yeah, you could actually do that, and it costs you $3.99.
Yep, $3.99.
That's right.
Michael,
that's my favorite four-letter F word, free.
You're so funny. Michael's on too. Hey, it's good to see you again, Michael, or Mike, because I think you prefer to be called Mike. I'll tell you, he said, even if doing on market, Privy is the best when it comes to comping with the MLS data. And yeah, you know what? I think you're absolutely right about that. And we had a question, and I'd like to get into that right now because it was from last week.
And by the way, that is market dependent. I know Benson is doing a great job of getting MLS data across the country. There's still a handful of markets where he hasn't, finished that connection yet. But yeah, generally speaking, Privy is great for comping all over the place.
Dude, I just had this question in front of me.
There it is.
Yes. It's funny because you said there it is as soon as it popped up on my screen. You couldn't see my screen unless you can. Here it is. Here it is, everybody. So like I said, we'll share the good, the bad, the indifferent. So this person, Leepan590, said this lets me run comps in a non-disclosure states as a question. And I know, Brad, that you got an answer for that. So why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I do. Yep. Yeah. So the caveat is what Chris just said. As long as there is MLS data, you would be able to run comps in a non-disclosure state. And the way that you will know that, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. The way that you'll know whether or not Privy has the MLS data is wherever you're at in the system. If you want to get out to this screen, you're just going to push Privy coverage, okay? And it gives you your source coverage here, okay? It's going to tell you where their MLS data is coming soon, where they have it currently, and everything else is, public record nationwide or third-party listing data, which is, like basically your Zillow, your Redfins, your Realtor.coms. And so, yeah, I mean, look at Texas, the whole east side of Texas, non-disclosure state, MLS data, boom. What's another non-disclosure state? Michigan, right.
Michigan or Minnesota? Yeah, right.
I was going to say it's one of these states. Either way, both of them have MLS data. So they have a ton of, they're like Chris said, Benson and the team's working really hard to get you guys that. I mean, that is like one of its biggest selling points is the fact that you don't have to be a realtor to have access to this data. So you get into Texas here, and boom,
Oh yeah.
you got the behind the veil access.
Beautiful.
Yeah, which is, I mean, so like just game changing. I mean, before we got Privy, Texas like really wasn't even an option for us because any comping you're doing is worthless. I mean, unless you have a realtor out there that's going to give you assistant access, that really well, or you develop that relationship, there's no way to really comp. So Privy's kind of unlocked that door.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, the flip side to that is like, it was great. It forced you to get outside of the box and develop relationships with agents, which, for some people that they need that. I would encourage you still develop relationships with agents in those markets, because, what the tool is going to provide you, right, is specific data, right? It's like polling. Polling is just data, right? It's how you interpret that data. And I think the one thing that an agent, a rock star agent or a unicorn agent brings to the table is the, reading between the data lines, right? Like what are they actively seeing from buyers, and what are they seeing in that maybe niche neighborhood, or, little nuances that maybe the data can't specifically speak to. They can kind of color in some of those other things. So it's still all recommended to develop agents there.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive, but for those that are getting started in they're not going to pick a market that's non-disclosure, like for us, where it's like, where's the path of least resistance? Obviously it's going to be where we know what properties have sold for versus, the guessing game. And Mike just said they got all MLS data for Texas major cities. And me and Michael know that personally, because I was just on a Zoom with him last night going through one of the properties he has or was trying to get under contract, and we ran some numbers on that. So, yep, good stuff.
Yeah, the other thing I love seeing is Alfred and Michael, linking up here. Alfred says he's got fam in Houston and wants to try the Houston market as well. So definitely squad up, fellas. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
But this is a relationship business. The more relationships you develop in this business, the more money you're going to make, right?
Dude, that's so true. I can't tell you how many deals we've done over the last year that we would not have been able to accomplish that, if we hadn't have just got on the phone. Chris definitely took the lead on all of that, getting on the phone with people, building relationships. Every single week he was having one-on-ones with new people that we didn't even know, that we hadn't met yet, but that we were happy afterwards to have met because we're doing deals with them now. So
100%. Yeah. So
we good for another question?
Yeah, let's dive into another question.
Absolutely.
So this is still Privy related, and it's great because, we are almost at the 15-minute mark. So I have, I think it's Angeli Marshall, 3 days ago asked this question, and it was around on this video here, this should be illegal, $300,000 a month. She said, okay, I've been working this system for a few weeks now, and it definitely works, ! It's great. But question, what do I do once I've sent offers to every property on my list? Do I resend to those same emails? Help. Okay. Again, I'm going to throw it over to you, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. I address it in some of the videos as well. Once you clear out the market that you're going into, and you pull that initial search and you go through your days on market list. This is why, shameless plug here, when we get our on market offer system curriculum, the actual system that we're going to be pushing out for free, by the way, I'm going to go through like every single type of list. Each one has a different workflow. We're going to get very granular in the details, so you guys will be able to have access to that very soon, within probably, I don't know what, the next week or two, Christian, somewhere around there, 1 to 3 weeks.
For the on-market offer system?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be like that actual course that we're rolling out is going to be a little bit delayed, only because what we're doing is we're also rolling out an employee hiring system made easy, virtual assistants edition, and we're actually coupling the rollout of that where ultimately, I mean, no matter what business you're in, if you're a B2B or a B2C, in this case, real estate investors, we're B2C and B2B, right? Whether we're wholesaling, which we have a dispo course coming too, but that's coming first. And we're coupling it with a 4-day workshop. It's a 3-day workshop. And then there's a Saturday that is for like invitation, and we'll have a lot of really great stuff going on. So that's it starts May 24th, but we'll be putting out some content about it saying, hey, you can click the link to join that. And it's going to be all about how to hire, vet, and train virtual assistants the right way. So after that, then we're going to be rolling out the rest of the Privy stuff. Well, it's, as I say, it's on market offer system. And we did this with the MLS before Privy existed, but now we're using it at the highest level possible with Privy. So it'll be after that. So I don't want to give a hard date about 3 weeks. 3 weeks will be the other one. It's a lot of work.
Got it. Okay.
It's fun though.
No worries. No worries. Yeah. I mean, as long as everybody knows it's going to be out there when it gets out, not a problem. But yeah. So to get to your point or your question, when you clear out your DOM lists, your days on market, which are the initial lists that you create when you do your initial search, that's it. You're never going to work in that list again. The only thing that you will be doing from that point on is working out of your your pending lists, your offer lists, your expired lists. What else? I think that's it. But you're going to be working out of those three. But you're really your day-to-day where you're going to be getting new deals, which is I think what you're really wanting, is going to be coming from your email updates. So once you've set your search in the when you create that search, you're going to be setting up an email update. Once you set that, your email every day or whatever interval you choose, there's hourly, weekly, daily, monthly, you will be full of every single one of the properties that enter the market in whichever list that you created that meet that criteria. And so you can work out of that to quickly go through soft comp, do what you need to do, and then drop whatever properties meet your criteria into a comp to do a more in-depth analysis. And then kind of a side note too, in the workflow, I think probably just as important as going through your email updates is going through your pending lists. I think the last couple deals we've actually done from the on market, the one we locked up earlier this week, the one that we're actually closing, I've already gotten a sign that's closing today, Division Street, but both of those came from the pending list. So what that means is I put an offer out, they accepted another offer, so it went pending. I'm tracking all of that day to day. And then when I went back in the next day or whenever, after, a couple of days, the buyer backed out and it went back on market. And so if you're doing that well, you're going to be the first person that's contacting that agent because you're going to be able to have access to those right back on market offers or properties. So it's really important that you're checking those pending lists daily, because just because they went into contract doesn't mean it's going to close. It happens. Like I said, we have two deals right now that came from the pending lists. They did not accept the initial offer that I put out.
Yep, absolutely. Fortune's in the follow-up. That's what they say, right? So, you follow up not just with off market, but with on market. Guys are falling out of escrow all the time. And especially if it is a fixer, right? And it's a property that is more designed for investors. Like, investors fall out of escrow almost way more than regular end buyers. So there's a high likelihood that that's going to fall out. So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. You ready to shift gears to a different question here?
Absolutely.
Let's keep it moving.
By the way, Christian, I'm replying to the people who have posted. If you're not on this live right now, or if you watch this later, or if you might ask a question in the future in a comment section, just know that we're going to reply to your question and let you know on that question that, hey, it's going to be on this Feedback Friday, or check out this Feedback Friday. So this is where we like to answer a lot of our comments and questions.
And for the most part, that's anything, no matter what.
Yep.
And that'll be evident when I get to this next question, because I'm sure most people wouldn't broadcast this question, but I'm going to. So it's from support admin 7735 22 hours ago, and it was edited. With all due respect, you do not need launch control at $300 a month to get a mobile home deal. Now, I did respond to this, but I wanted to address it for everyone else here. And I said, definitely agreed. So many other ways to market and SMS tools to use that can get results that are mobile home deals or otherwise. But I addressed that live because I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it too. You know, I'm in the back end here on YouTube and I'm answering that. But do you have anything to say to that? I mean, I know you do. So
oh yeah, I know Chris does. There's so much there. Like what, and they like other influencers and people on YouTube or Instagram, they say like don't go into the comments, but we're going into the comments. We want to get into the nitty gritty of these things, because that's what do you like? It's my first question is like, what do you mean by that? Like you don't, you have to market to get a deal, no matter what. And that marketing does not, you're right, it doesn't have to be paid. You could
by the way, just one thing to state there, right? He said $300. You're actually right, because launch control costs way more than $300 a month. We pay a lot more to market for mobile homes and get them under contract, and we'll tell you why in just a moment.
Yeah, and so like no matter what, even your free advertising, your free marketing is not free. If you're driving for dollars, guess what? You're spending money on gas. You're spending the time that you could be doing other things, driving around trying to find deals. If you're door knocking, you're spending time. There's opportunity cost. Maybe it's not a direct financial cost, but one would argue that an opportunity cost is a direct financial cost, because you're actually losing out on potential income that you could be closing deals, doing high value dollar activities, doing other things. So there's so many nuances to that comment. But yeah, Chris, go ahead.
So many things wrong with it. And so like, let's just break down that comment, right? Christian, can you put that comment on the screen just so I can see exactly, because there's like a few different things that I want to just like slice up on that comment. Really. And hey, they did say with all due respect. So, if you ever,
I was going to say
salad, egg, and nights, right? Like, just because you say with all due respect doesn't mean you can say whatever you want afterwards.
It's in the Geneva Convention, Chris.
Like, no, that's exactly what it means. I can say whatever I want.
Just so you know, I didn't take it in any
I know.
way. I appreciate it. I would rather somebody like push back on something that we're doing too. But I think, I have my thoughts. I'll share them after you go, but, and expound on it more than I did. But here it is. This is what you wanted to say. You want to see this. With all due respect,
you don't need launch control at $300 a month to get a mobile home deal. Okay, so let's break this down into a couple parts, right? And if you could leave that on the screen for me for a moment, because nobody's going to see that except for me. But so you don't need launch control. That is a fact. That statement by itself is a fact. You don't need launch control. You can use REI reply. You could use Textedly. You could use whatever. There's a million other things. You could do door knocking. You could do direct mail. You could use agents. You could, whatever it is that you want.
PPC, Facebook ads, cold calling.
You don't need launch control at all, right? So that is a fact, 100%. At $300 a month, you can't get it for $300 a month anymore. The lowest price now is $497. All of our launch control packages, we have 4 accounts, and for each of them, we're paying in the top tier, which is like $13 or $14.97 a month. So we spend way more than that just to use launch control, and then to get a mobile home deal, right? I would say at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what tool you're using, and it doesn't matter what the cost is, right? The only thing that matters is what is your ROI.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you that you could get a mobile home, you could take that mobile home, get it under contract for 50 grand, you could bring a private money lender to the table that's going to fund that 50 grand, right? So you don't have to bring any money to the table. You could then sell it on the MLS without putting any work into the property, mind you, right? Putting $0 into renovating the property, sell it on the MLS, get a down payment and seller finance it to an end buyer where over the term of it, you're going to make $175,000 with zero out of your own pocket, other than maybe $300 to $500 a month on launch control. Would you decide that that's a bad idea? I think the answer is no. You would not think that's a bad idea. We've done just that, right? And we don't market exclusively to mobile homes. We market to a lot of homes here in San Diego. And that's just one of the homes that we've gotten with that. So while you're right, you don't need to do that. At the end of the day, we're blasted. We're literally carpet bombing all of Southern California, basically, with text messaging. So.
Yeah. So I'll comment on that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen though now. And that's just to say for anyone who is, starting out, or even if you're seasoned, but mostly for those people who are starting out, you also, don't need to do text message marketing. And if you did want to, we've seen some people do this where they've gotten Google Voice and they've gotten a list of 300 people, and then they took a month to text them, and they've gotten a couple bites. It's just not scalable, right? You're not going to be able to do that at a high level. And if you have a job, which I've had a job before, I don't anymore. Praise the Lord. This is my job. But I did, and I was doing real estate investing part-time. And I knew that when I was doing that same thing, I was doing the lick and stick campaigns. I was, writing them some myself. I would sign them myself. And of course, eventually I realized they invented not only the printing press, but a printer. Silly me. But I was doing shorter lists, and it took me a lot longer. That's the reason why when I first got started, it took me almost 2 years to do my first rehab, because that's what I was going for. And I had definitely been doing transactions as a licensed realtor. I was doing referrals, right, for people whose houses were already fixed up from direct mail campaigns. This is what I'm saying, not using a fulfillment company, right? So you can absolutely do that. I saved a lot of money, but actually what really struck me afterwards is what Brad said at the beginning of kind of just addressing this and speaking to the comment and building upon it, is the opportunity cost for me was way greater, because the first flip that I ever did was a flip in Linda Vista in San Diego, right by the 163, beautiful views over the stadium in Mission Valley. And I made almost $20,000 on that flip. And I was kicking myself after that, thinking, man, if I had just put the investment out there, and like Chris said, no matter what it was, as long as I was confident in my ability to close and my ability to negotiate, get it under contract, and, coming with a flip renovation, it comes with a whole lot of other challenges as well that you need to be really confident in you and your team to get through. But I would have saved a lot of time, a lot of headaches. So it's different for everybody. And I've been in that position. I've been on both sides. So I can say that, I appreciate your comment, because you're absolutely right. I've thought that way. I've felt that way. And what I found was when you really know that the opportunity cost and you connect with that is greater than whether it's $300, $400, $500, whatever it is every month to market, as opposed to just doing this one-off stuff yourself, then it inspires you and lights a fire for you to take action. And that doesn't mean just willy-nilly spend the money. I did one last thing I'll say about the money and investment into your business is, if you don't have a marketing budget, you do have a marketing budget. If you don't think that you have a marketing budget, you do. And here's why. I've been a coach for a long time in the niche of real estate, and also a business and accountability coach. And a couple of the things that I've heard is something similar to, I don't really have a marketing budget. I have to do this all myself. And then I say, yeah, no, I totally get that. It's something that I've experienced too, because I have. And I said, so by the way, it's November, it's kind of mid-November. I'm curious after this, because I build rapport with my students and stuff. Do you know if Starbucks they have that what pumpkin spice latte, and my wife really likes those, and I was going to swing by and pick it up. And then they're like, oh yeah, I had one last week, or I had one yesterday. Cool. Okay. So there's $5 of a marketing budget. Stop going to Starbucks and spending $5 for a cup of coffee, and then do that repeatedly. I think it was, I don't want to misquote who it was, but a quote that I've really started to live by is, we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. So if you're trying to build a marketing budget and you don't think that you have one, you do. There are superfluous things that you spend money on, which they're beneficial. They make you feel good. I mean, personally, I don't like the pumpkin spice lattes. I just prefer straight up Americanos and black coffee. But, if that's your speed, I could get that Folgers. And okay, you could debate whether or not that's good or not. But my point is, spare yourself any luxuries for now, because it's worth it in the long run. If you see it from that perspective, it's going to be a better result for you if you just withhold. And I'm not saying this to anybody in particular. I'm not saying this to support admin 7735. This is just a general topic. Discipline is important, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who lack discipline, and not in a negative way. It's just this is normal. It's normal to be like, oh, I'm cruising to work and there's traffic, so I'm just going to swing by Starbucks because I'm tired. Well, don't do that. If you live in an area, well, what I used to, right, South San Diego, I would commute, which should have only taken 20 minutes, but sometimes it'd take 2 hours to get to work. I knew that I could brew coffee, and I'm just sticking with the coffee example, okay? But there were many other things, like don't go get a steak at Outback Steakhouse or whatever. Like, just, don't do that. But
like Circle K, Christian, like what I used to do is Circle K had a program where you'd spend $2.99 a month, and that would allow you to get one free drink daily. And it could be coffee, it could be soda, it could be like whatever it was, right? And so I would get a large coffee from there every single day, and it cost me $2.99 a month. So it ended up being like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 30 to 60 cents a day. Like,
dude, that's even cheaper than brewing it at home.
Exactly. And of course, right, like what's in it for them? Because if you go to the Circle K, then, chances are you're probably going to at some point need gas as well. And you also might get impulse to buy something else along the way. But if you're disciplined, like I was, that was the only thing I was going for. It was right around the corner. It literally took me less than 3 minutes to get there. I'd get there, I'd get my coffee. The girls there all knew who I was. They knew exactly what I wanted. Half the time, as soon as I walk in, they're like, oh crap, I forgot to fill up the creamer. Let me get that for you. So, it was just a habit, and it saved a ton of money. So yeah, the ways
that's the point, right? I would brew it at home, and then I would drive 2 hours, and I would just nurse it, knowing that where I worked, they actually had like Keurigs and coffee for their employees. So I wasn't going to stop off and get that, but I'd sit down and I'd see everyone else with their Starbucks, or sometimes the Chris deals with which, by the way, we work together. So, this is something. So I would see that. But my point in all that is, no matter what it is, just see where you can cut back if you're just getting started. Now, if you're not just getting started, that's a different conversation, but it still is something you should keep in mind. Cut back where you can. And the point to this is, until you have 3 months worth, that's 1 quarter worth of whatever marketing budget that you're going to be consistently spending every month. Right.
Hey, real quick, just to put a topper on that, Christian, what did that end up getting you? What return was there in your sacrifice?
Oh, I was this is going to sound so small, especially to what we're doing now, but I was able to actually sock away like $600 a month. And it wasn't just coffee, by the way, but yeah, $600 a month to add to my marketing budget, which is what got me that I think it was actually close to $220,000. You'd think I'd remember that, but actually we just had a wholesale deal recently. We even did a case study here on the channel that was $220,000, which I thought was weird because I'm like, it took me 3 months to flip a property. I only put 50K into it, relatively speaking. There were a lot of challenges, but we got through them, and I made 220,000. And then flash forward several years, we got Chris closes your deal, and then we we make $220,000 on a wholesale.
So you say it's small that you saved, you were able to put away $600 a month, but it wasn't $600 a month. It was $220,000 that came from the marketing. And by the way, guys, Chris just said the launch control is $497. So cutting back on a couple small things gave Christian the ability to get whatever marketing he needed. In this case, we're talking about launch control, which gives you access to reach out and touch thousands and thousands of homeowners a month.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the questions that I thought was really, really spot on, back in my days at Fortune Builders, was this question, which is, what if I told you tomorrow when you woke up, you would have $1 million in debt? How would that make you feel? Right. And the implication is like, oh my God, like I'd lose my mind. I'd be pulling my hair out. Okay, fair enough. What if I told you that $1 million of debt that you had was paying you $30,000 a month in income, cash flow? How would you feel then? Oh, I'd be over the moon. I wouldn't have to work. I would just have this passive income coming in. Like, that'd be amazing, right? And like, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. We're not talking, I think business owners that are starting out, they tend to look at marketing expenses as a cost, and you really have to reframe your mind and view it as an investment. You're investing into your business, right? And the whole point of investing is to get a return. And so you have to look at things that you can invest into to get that return. So, so awesome, guys. Speaking of return, I got delivery, right? I could have went out to Planet Smoothie and got this smoothie and spent like $9, but it just magically appeared. Yeah, Planet Tory just hands it off to me, and it cost me nothing, and I didn't have to drive anywhere and waste any gas, which is another expense.
Also, hi Tori.
She's gone now.
Oh.
Dig says, does the $499, it's $497, but for lack of a better price of launch control cover text cost, or is that a separate expense?
Great question.
Yeah.
That's why we love launch control.
Well, Chris is the launch control expert, so tell him what you get with that.
Yeah, so the $497, the thing that we love about launch control is the way that they structure their pricing is very easy to budget and know exactly what your cost is going to be, and really scale. Now, it might feel a little bit more expensive because, you have an initial output cost that's like straight up, what you're going to pay. So, while a system like REI Reply, has a very low subscription cost, but then there's charges for every single text message. So for someone newer starting out with a very limited budget, you might be able to, kind of taper into that, the volume you want to do and kind of manage your budget a little bit better. With launch control, that $497 price point, that includes all of the texting. So there's no additional charges that you're going to have on top of that, unless of course you add an additional market or additional users or any of the other add-on features that you want to get. So yeah, great question, Dig. And they have a $497. So if you're paying $499, you can get, launch control, plus you can get 30 days of, free coffee at Circle K at $499. So that's what I would recommend.
You don't do that anymore though, bro?
No, I don't do that anymore. I'm getting bougie. I've been hitting up Starbucks lately. Brad put me on to this nitro cold brew. And I'm kind of like really, getting hooked on it. So,
bro, I got this right here in a Black Rifle Coffee Company. It's not that, it's Folgers. I bought the cup
By the way, Michael Lopez mentioned something in the comment here, which I think is really apropos, right? So with regards to REI Reply, you also deal with all kinds of restrictions and other platforms, especially those that use Twilio. That's the other problem, the thing that I don't like about REI Reply. I mean, not that I don't like REI Reply. I mean, I think it's a great tool, but I think what I like better about Launch Control, and I'm going to use a car analogy because I'm a car guy, you know, so it's like if Christian and I were going to race across the country, right, in cars, and he said, okay, I'm going to buy all the parts to build this car. And then once I'm done building the car, I'm going to start driving across the country. And I'm like, screw that. I ain't got time for that. I'm just going to go down to the dealership and buy a car and start driving. Who's going to get there first? Right. Obviously, I'm going to get there first because it's out of the box, ready to go. And that's the benefit that we really like about Launch Control, is because we don't have to do any integrations. We don't have to get Twilio integrated with this. We don't have to do all of that stuff. You literally sign up, you subscribe. The only thing you do need to do is you need to build out your templates, your drip campaigns, your quick replies, your follow-up sequences and everything, which if you're watching right now, or you've seen any of our channels, we actually have a program where you can just hire us. It's a one-time fee. We'll build out your whole Launch Control to mimic what we do. And you can get started and be that guy that's just getting in the car right out of the dealership and shoot across the country. But I say, right, like when you have to go through building all that stuff out and the integrations and everything, by the time you're done that, I've already texted, you know, thousands of people and have gotten responses, and I'm already on the phone with some of the same people that you're going to reach out to. And when you finally get them on the phone, they're going to be like, yeah, hey man, I'm really sorry, but I just signed with Chris Closes Your Deal. So you should hit him up because he can close your deal.
They're not getting on the phone, Chris. No. They're texting back saying already in contract, period.
Yeah.
And then they don't talk to you anymore.
Yo, by the way, we usually try to keep this tight, 45 minutes. We might go a little bit over, but there was a couple things I wanted to address. First of all, yeah, Chris, you're right. We definitely have that service where we build it out, and it's not a fee, it's an investment. It really is. And we know, actually, I think a couple people on here actually already got that. They already hired us to do it. So, I mean, you want to give us your feedback, go ahead. Good, bad, or indifferent. We're live. So here it is. It says, thank you for response, Chris. Dig, it's good to see you here again. And then Anjuli said, you guys are amazing. Do you offer mentorship? Like, seriously, hey, thank you for that. I want to tell you, we do in this way, and we have what's called the REI Made Easy Platinum group coaching and mentorship. So it's like it's a weekly thing, and it's with like a monthly subscription rather than, you know, the access to that we'll share later because we're just kind of developing it in the back end. We have done for you marketing clients that already have that, but the done for you marketing clients where we take over all of their texting and all of their cold calling and everything, we'll handle them.
Scrubbing the list, everything.
Right. So it's from data to deal. So really, we've been talking, right? And Brad was like talking about Privy. I'm like throwing those questions to him on market stuff. And then for the texting, the activity of texting, you know, Brad said, Chris, you know, you take this, you're the guy who knows it. I'm the data guy. I'm the nerd with the glasses. That's why I'm wearing glasses. But the truth is I don't even actually wear glasses, and that hurts my eyes. But these are blue light blocker glasses, by the way. Data guy. So we
for my birthday, guys.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I got those for you for your birthday too. Yeah. Awesome.
I wear them all the time.
Yeah. Yes, you do. And so do I, even on the lives, although it reflects back the screen, which probably doesn't look the best, but and we do.
I can't be the only one here without glasses.
Oh, you know, there's a blue light blocker glasses. You could see the yellow in them.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Chris, you look really smart. I got to say, now I have even more respect for you. I want to listen to you more now.
You look like you have a library that smells like rich mahogany.
With leather-bound books.
No, and a high back leather chair.
You do though.
I smoke my Sherlock pipe in.
Absolutely. Hey, yeah, MB. We'll drop the. Let me drop the JV form in in the comments, and then we'll put it in the description for anybody that's watching afterwards. But we have our JV form that we have already rolled out. So if you guys want a JV, please submit those deals to the link I'm putting in the comments now. And then
Yes.
if you're watching after the fact, it'll be in the description.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to my boy Cartwright Hall, Barabbas Road Church.
Oh, what's up? Oh, it's
Cartwright, what's up, buddy?
awesome, man. And
Yeah.
Mike Lopez said, yep, I was at 80% deliverability rate on the other platforms and now about 91% on launch control. So, and then MB JV deals question mark. Yes, we do. And I think Brad, you were going to throw that link in there
Yep, already in there.
about that. Cool. And then also one last thing, I mean, because we are pushing it on time, we're about 1 minute over. This is a really good question that came in and I wanted to address it. So don't need to share my screen. I'll just address it right now. It was on the how to hire virtual assistants to outsource your business live that we did. And the question was from Umar Malik.
More of
And
a
he said, it was a statement, but he said, need help in setting up systems for VAs. The implication there that I'm deriving the question from is, what help can you provide, or do you guys provide help? The answer to that question is, in so many words, yes, support, guidance, and that's part of what I had mentioned before. For those of you who are just tuning in, we were developing a few courses that we're bringing for free. Okay, so they're all going to be listed as playlists on here. One of those is the Privy course, specifically the on-market offer course where we utilize Privy. Another one is a dispositions course that Chris is spearheading. And then for me, I'm doing the employee hiring system made easy, a couple different versions. One edition is virtual assistants, and that's the first one we're rolling out with. So it should be pretty in depth. And I also wanted to tell you, Umar, that the 24th of May, we're officially launching a 4-day workshop live where we're going to be going through the entire system from beginning to end. And then, I mean, you can join that. We'll have more promotions about that, just a little bit more noise that we'll make in videos coming up. But we're really excited about that because it's basically going to be every single thing that you need to know to build a team of employees that happen to be virtual that stay. We have an employee retention rate that's above 95%. I'd like to say it's 0, but the only reason why some of those employees left is because of completely beyond our control and for the most part, their control, with the exception of one employee. But
one person, one of our employees passed away, which is terrible. So
yeah, that's so. I mean, obviously, we're not retaining that, retaining that person as an employee in that result. So we definitely take care of our employees. We really care about them, and that's part of what I'm going to pour into the system and share with you. It's like a lot of people treat VAs, especially, as cogs in a wheel, like there's some sort of machine where it's just like, you do this. And some people who are VAs, right, they don't mind. They don't care. It's like, I'm more focused on the money. And that's fine, right? To each their own. But the system is more focused on how do you find, then vet all of the candidates that will be candidates that want to work with you to grow your business and stick with you long term. So that's really the result. And I wanted to share that with you, Umar. So thank you for the comment, which, I turned into a question. So there you go. That's it, guys. If you have any other questions, we're not going to go too much longer.
One other question that I think we kind of hit in a roundabout way was it's from 10 days ago. Danny B said, "Aren't mobile homes just a huge pain?" Yes, they are a huge pain of money. Money that nobody else
that you get after you get the deal done.
Yeah, exactly. The huge pain really comes after the deal, when your wife goes out on a shopping spree and spends all the money that you just made on that deal. That's where the pain comes from. So mobile homes, I just want to touch on this because this is such an untapped thing, and piggybacking on the last question about mobile homes, right? In San Diego specifically, there's like 4 guys in the entire market of San Diego that actually will fix and flip mobile homes. So from a competition standpoint, like if you're new, right, and you're struggling to get deals and you've gotten beat out on deals because like other people are beating your numbers, try mobile homes, because guaranteed there is way less competition. I've never once, and you know, Brad could speak to this too, I've never once been in a negotiation with a seller of a mobile home where they were like, you know, I'm kind of deciding between you and this other guy, and he's coming in with a little bit higher offer or anything like that. It just doesn't happen, right? So that's the first thing, right? You can come in with very minimal capital, and the thing is, they're super realistic, right? They're not on this high horse having this ridiculous expectation of value. Like everybody knows, like whether you live in a mobile home or whether you live in a castle, that like it's a mobile home. It's not going to warrant a big payday, right? So you can usually get it locked up. Generally speaking, we're getting them locked up 50 grand or less. And then we literally put no money. We did one mobile home where we got it under contract. This one guy, I mean, it was basically fully renovated. We got it under contract for $100,000. And then we put it on market with like 2 grand into cleaning it up and sold it for like 155. And so we got a little bit of cash up front. And we also created a seller finance note out of nowhere on the equity that we just made up for 35 grand. And we're cash flowing like $300 a month on that one. And then we had another one where we got under contract for 50K. Private money lender came in, and then we basically sold it on seller financing with a down payment, and we're cash flowing on that one. We're going to make like $175,000 over the life of that loan. So there's a lot of opportunity with mobile homes, and these are mobile homes that are in parks. If you're getting mobile homes where they're on land, even more money, which we have a mobile home in Florida that is on land that we've been cash flowing like $1,200 a month for the last like 9 months. And MB said, do you only do lots? Like, nope, we'll buy them if they're in mobile home parks, and we'll buy them if they're on property where we can own the property as well.
Thanks, Mike. We'll see you. Good to see you on here.
Yeah, buddy.
Yo, by the way, we stumbled into the mobile home stuff by accident because there were just so many mobile homes that were coming down our pipeline, because we had began a while ago, not because we knew the result would be something like spaghetti at the wall, because we were using like old recycled data, quote unquote, and we got a lot of mobile homes, and we're like, we need to make money with this. Like, we get the onesie twosies, and of course, you know, the normal wholesale fee for us at that time in San Diego in particular was like $30,000 to $40,000 on any given wholesale deal, especially as the market was starting to go up. But we're like, dude, we got to find a way to monetize on these mobile homes, because the sellers are still in the exact same situation as anybody who has a pertinent property. And we're like, okay, well, let's mastermind this.
Less people want to buy them.
Yeah, nobody wanted to buy them. I was like, who's going to help me out is the mobile home seller. Who will help me? Okay, well, Lazarus Property Group will help you. So let's do it. And then Chris spearheaded a lot of that and the genesis of what we're doing. And at some point, we'll have more of a course that teaches the mobile home stuff, not necessarily buying mobile home parks, but individual mobile homes and note investing and stuff. So
shout out to Pace Morby and the sub 2 community, right? Because like without that community and what Pace is teaching, like, you know, we would have just looked at it like, can we wholesale these? And we would have, you know, maybe made $5 grand on them. But because of what Pace Morby is teaching in, you know, sub 2 seller finance wraps and all that, we were able to take these and turn them into cash flowing pieces of paper, basically.
Yeah, if you don't know much about sub 2, or if you were like me when I first started, in fact, that $220,000 flip that I mentioned, I bought it sub 2 and seller financing combined. You know, that's my knowledge of it. It was like, yeah, this is a great opportunity for a fix and flip buyer like myself to spend less on financing. But when we joined sub 2, our eyes were open to the fact that it's much more than that. So you definitely want to check that out, or just follow our channel too. If you know you're not up for an investment, I think, you know, whatever it is to join that quite yet, then, you know, we talk about that stuff as well, which, yeah, Give credit where credit is due. Appreciate that, Chris. Any final thoughts, questions, anything before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good, man. I want to try to keep it tight. I got to get on a seller call here in about 5 minutes.
You gonna go live with that?
Maybe
No,
on my
you-
Instagram.
On your Instagram, right?
That's right. Brad does real estate with underscores in between each one of those.
I'm just Christian Weatherspoon on Instagram. I don't have the cool phrase. I think Spoon does real estate. What was it that you said I should have?
What? Spoon does deals?
Or
Spoon.
spoon-fed deals.
Oh, there you go. I like that. I think
All
we've just reached the genesis of Christian's new Instagram, Spoon Fed Deals.
Let me know,
Right?
everybody.
That
in the
makes sense
comments if
for
you
a
like it.
marketing company, right? Spoon Fed Deals, like we're gonna
Oh.
spoon feed you deals. That's genius.
Especially because like the marketing starts at the data and I'm doing the data.
Yep.
Bro, that's huge. Okay, spoon-fed deals. It's not available at this second of being live, but it probably will
You
be
could do
later.
silver spoon REI, silver spoon deals.
I thought, I brought that to Chris and he just shot those ones down.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, they're not all winners.
Hey, every idea can't be a genius idea, but the spoon-fed deals, I think that's a winner chicken dinner. If you like the name spoon-fed deals for Christian Weatherspoon, put a thumbs up, put a like, put a comment in the chat. I would love to hear your feedback. And then, of course, as always, I'm Chris Closes Your Deal. So if you guys want a JV, need help closing, let us know, and we'll work with you on that and take some deals down for you.
Yo, I'm seeing a gaggle of hearts coming across on the chat. So somebody's loving the spoon-fed deals.
Nice.
So maybe that's an indication that that's going to be my next handle.
I
Anyway,
think that's Christian. I think you're just liking and hearting it yourself.
no. I was playing with a toothpick, actually. That's funny. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Alfred, appreciate your comments. And everybody who is on here, I really appreciate it. Spoon-fed deals, thumbs up. Renee, thank you so much. All right, everybody. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. We might be live a little bit later, but stay tuned as we continue to make real estate investing easy.
Peace.